So, welcome to this masterclass, it is interesting. I'm thinking that way. Now, this is really important and relates to my book, The Secret Codes to Success. And when we say this one simple sentence, the most amazing changes occur in our mind. Our mind is an open, delicious vessel that is actually a blank slate. And yet we think things are concrete, and the word is thinking. So it is interesting. I am thinking that way. So I don't know about you, but sometimes I have my ego mind, my monkey mind, as it's otherwise known, step in and stories will come in. And so instead of getting involved in what I call the drama bus of those stories, I allow myself to go, it's interesting, I'm thinking that way. What it does is it's like it removes us from the ego mind and all of the emotions that come up with the ego mind, step aside and observe what's going on. This was integral to the Egyptian mystery schools. The Egyptian mystery schools were all about the mind and how we connect in the mind. It was also the downfall of the Egyptian mystery schools. Well, let's talk about the positive effects of the mystery schools. So, if we're stepping aside from the ego mind, what occurs is we're in a place of void, just like you can see the black background behind me. It's a void, nothing there. So, if I then say, it is interesting, I am thinking that way, what we're doing is we're not saying we're thinking, we're being. And that's called 0 point in mathematics. Those that have done the Millennium Grid or calendar with me or medical intuition, you understand 0 point. There's nothing. There's no positive, negative, good, bad, black, white, no dualities. And what we're doing is we're saying, okay, that's a process of the 3D paradigm. I know this is pretty full on at 5 o'clock in the morning while this is being recorded, but you will understand. So if I'm thinking, what happens is I've dropped into 3D paradigm. I've dropped into that 3D paradigm of emotions, learning lessons, duality, blame, trying to work things out, drama llama. But we need to think on this 3D paradigm because if we don't think, we can't actually grow and evolve. But when we do that thinking, sometimes the thinking connects to supposedly belief. And all a belief is a story that you keep on saying to yourself. And that thinking does not always serve us. Sometimes the thinking, and I'm going to link in medical intuition, sometimes the thinking goes into our large bowel and we obsess round and round, round and round and round and round, like a record. And then that stuckness actually gives us grief, because grief is held in the large bowel as well. And that thinking, overthinking goes into the small intestine as well. And that is where we go into intellect. And when we're in intellect and we don't drop into the feelings, we don't drop into the intuition. When we're in our intuition inside education from our heart, then ego mind comes in, which is not a bad thing. If you know the Skyhook song, ego is not a dirty word. That when we go to ego mind says, yeah, did you see that? Did you hear what they did? And the story comes up. So if we are thinking in a way that we'll call negative, because there is no negative or positive in mystery school. If we go into that supposed negative way of thinking, we take a big breath. What it does is it releases all the grief from the lungs. It allows us to drop into the now, and it allows us to be in the present. Some people do breath work or breathing or box breathing or whatever, same thing. If you just do 3 big breaths, which I always say in medical intuition, every time you sit, take a big breath, take a deep, big breath. As soon as you take a deep breath, what happens is you come out of your head into heart, some chemical reactions as well that happen on a medical level. And it's like, oh, it's like you remove yourself, come out of the story, you remove yourself from the story, pain story, the ego mind going, gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, the drama llama. And you can observe it's like going, whoosh, turning and looking at it, just like a television. It is interesting. And when we say it's interesting, it's like, oh, we get curious. As we get curious, the neural pathways in our brain say, oh my gosh, it's time to make new neural pathways called brain synapses, which is like fireworks in the brain. And so all these new neural pathways go, what? So we can see, be, do, have different awarenesses. What's that? That's interesting. When we have that curiosity, oh, that's interesting. There's a new way. So we can never be stuck because you guys are doing this all the time. You can never be blocked. So that's interesting. Hmm, that I'm thinking that way or that way. And what happens is there's this paradigm shift where you take yourself out of the third dimension, which is around the solar plex area, and go scoot right up to the 13th dimension, which was part of Egypt and Atlantis mystery school, go to the biggest genius awareness, back into the fifth dimension, personal freedom, come into community, fourth dimension, third dimension. Oh my gosh, you're doing this ascension process by yourself. How easy, just by saying, it's interesting I'm thinking that way, but it's the way you're doing it as well. Not being critical in the pituitary gland or third eye. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's interesting. None of that. That's interesting. I'm thinking that way. It takes a moment and it becomes a habit and it becomes you when you do it. That's interesting. I'm thinking that way. It's like, oh, that's interesting. I'm thinking that way. And the brain says, out of curiosity, especially in the right brain, why? Why am I do that? It's like a child. Why am I thinking that? What is that? The left brain joins in, and you can see all of these beautiful things that are happening. This is in medical intuition. All these beautiful things are happening naturally. The left brain says, well, it's because, and there's systems. But also the left brain says, wow, let's have a new system. Amazing things are happening. And I don't know why my hand just did that thumbs up. But anyway, it did. AI. So that's interesting. I'm thinking that way. So simple, so effective. Part of the mystery school wisdom was the mind and body connection. We already understood that we're connected to essence, soul or spirit, whatever you want to call it. But when we connect on that mind and body together and observe, rather than getting caught up in the 3D paradigm, which is like, my goodness me, the learning lessons are humongous. That's interesting. I'm thinking that way. And remove ourselves from that connection. And that connection, connective tissue and belly button, by the way, there could be a healing process in this morning's masterclass. That when we do that, we don't actually connect the dots to negative or positive. We're connecting the dots to, wait, I am the designer, the creator of my life. Does it have to be that way to think? In the Bite Me program, I talk about click your fingers, where you can change your thoughts just like that. What happened? It's like snapping yourself out of it. Same thing. It's interesting I'm thinking that way. Because a thought isn't yours, especially if it's not loving. It's not yours to own or have unless it's loving. Again, from the Secret Coast to Success book and program. That it's interesting I'm thinking that way. Where did that thought come from? Is that thought from something that you grew up with, that you experienced? Maybe you were told as a child, whether it be from authorities of parents, teachers, television. Is that thought in the quantum? Whose is that thought? Those thoughts aren't even ours. Yes, thoughts are energy. They float around. Does it suit you? Do you like it? Is it supportive? Is it making you feel good? And especially when other people try to support you and they give you their thoughts. That occurred for me yesterday. I was speaking to someone and it was amazing. I just love connecting with people and I love growing and learning and my learning as well. And as I was speaking, they were talking about that would never work and this is going to be bad and I just went, oh, I started to notice that I was taking their thoughts because it was like a smorgasbord. You can take that. And I started to go, oh, yeah, oh, wait. And as they were talking, I was still listening to them, but I actually said, that's interesting. I'm thinking that way because it's not my thought. It's not the way I see it or perceive it, which is very third eye. It's not my perception. You see, perception and reality is whatever you want it to be. So it's interesting. I'm thinking that way. And you might not do it at the moment when you're caught up in the drama llama of being a human in this 3D paradigm. That's okay because it will come back. The large bear will go, yeah, remember? Yeah, remember the obsession round and round and round. And that might be while you shower the next day and you're washing your hair. Oh, it's interesting I'm thinking that way. Because is it actually that way? Where'd you get that thought from? So, where can you use this in your life? Is it work, home, about yourself, perception, about the traffic? You're sitting in the car and it's chock-a-block with traffic, absolutely chock-a-block. And you're driving and you're going, oh my gosh, I'm going to be late. Oh. It's interesting, I'm thinking that way. And what happens is you suddenly open up to in a traffic jam. I'm going to turn up the music. Me, I love doof doof music. Turn up the music, you start singing, fabulous. Start dropping in the chair. Suddenly, the traffic starts moving. You're already there. Oh my gosh, that was a great drive. Because when you put on that music, it takes you into a frequency, a different wave of love. And you notice, oh, there's horses. That car. I didn't notice that building. You have a space of joy rather than pain. You're at work and you're just not happy. Maybe the emails are just coming in, or people are demanding things of you, or you're short staffed. It's interesting. I'm thinking that way. Take a breath. And it's interesting, I think, that way, because what just happened is the Zoom just shut down on me. But that's okay. I went on my phone and I went, it's interesting. I'm thinking that way. Okay, I found the solutions. For whatever reason, the Zoom shut down on my computer. So be it. That's okay. It's interesting, I think, that way. What happens is when you practice this, you find solutions, just like what just happened to me. The Zoom shut down. It's still spinning on my computer as I do this. And you find the solution. It's like there, because you don't have the thoughts of it's not going to work out or the doom and gloom of the 3D paradigm. What you do have is this awareness of everything always works out. Again, this is in my book, Secret Codes to Success. So, where can you use this at home? Is it that you're disgruntled with a partner, with children, or something else? That's okay. It's interesting I'm thinking that way. take a breath. Maybe someone said something to you. It's interesting. I'm thinking, and if you notice, I'm thinking that way, not them. Don't put it on them. It's interesting. They're thinking that way. None of our business. It's never any of our business the way they're thinking. It's okay for them to think the way they think. That's called perception. And if we embraced that everyone has a different perception, there'd be no wars, no battles, no struggles. Just is, it is what it is. Easy. So we're going to use this. And because I now can't show the image, it's interesting I'm thinking that way. I would love for you guys to do some sharing. So I'll share your name, and if you'd like to unmute, that would be amazing. If you're typing it, I can't actually see it on my phone on the chat. So just unmute yourself if you can. If not, that's okay. But I'd love your sharing too, because we all grow from this wisdom. It's not just about me. So if we go Lou, Maud, Kelly, and Ruthie. Actually, I can see the chat. Kelly, thank you so much, darling. I've got yours. A breath and clicking my fingers around my house are my go-to to come back to 0 point neutrality. Quick self-meditation, calm down. That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Ruthie. Kelly, I should say. And then I'm going to go back to the screen here. So we'll go back to Lou, Maud, and Ruthie. If you can unmute yourself, that'd be amazing.
I'm having a bit of trouble getting my brain straight this morning. We're actually just in the middle of a storm, and so almost zero sleep. But yeah, I like how you said that it's interesting. I'm thinking that way because that's like total ownership of whatever's going on. So yeah,
beautiful. Especially because you're in a storm. We really appreciate you being here. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go to Maud.
Thank you, but I passed today. Thank you.
Yeah, love it, love it, love it. When you all either share in a storm or my brain's foggy or I pass, that's just so self-empowerment. So thank you so much, Maud. Let's go to Ruthie. I just have to see if it's Ruthie, if you've put a message there, darling, I can't see because I can't see it probably on the phone.
I was trying to get in and out of the different parts of the Zoom today. Mine is I can use it when I compare myself to other people, be it at work, and I really like the simplicity of the statement because I was doing it as you were saying, and I could feel my body going, detaching from the thought, coming back into heart space.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And Ruthie makes a great awareness of when we're comparing ourselves, wherever, home, friends, family, whatever it is, it actually creates pain. And that pain is in the mind. And as I mentioned, this is all part of the Egyptian mystery school of the mind and the awareness there. And so remember, use it when it feels right. Remember, it's interesting. I'm thinking that way. And as Lou said, it's the ownership, which is really important. When I own what's going on for me, it changes the dynamics of the world, of life, because it changes our perception. And we realize that we design, we create our own life because we're conscious co-creators. So thank you so, so much, Super Souls, for joining me on today's Mystery School Masterclass. And I really appreciate your understanding because I had the computer glitch go where the computer died out, but it's interesting. I think that way it opens neural pathways and you always, always, always find solutions. So see you next week. Bye, guys.